In the previous tutorial, we talked about what a project is and how to create a new project. So in this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to add data sets to a particular project. So I have my loan data project here. So I can click on it and it takes me to what are the data sets that are currently available for this particular project. When you first get into this view, you won't have any data sets assigned. So the first step you need to do is create or ingest data into this project. By clicking the plus sign, you'll be taken to what's called add dataset view. So here you can pick what kind of files you would like to include for that particular project. You can have flat file, which could include Excel file or Amazon S3. It could be a SQL where we support MySQL, Postgres. It could be a big data file, Hadoop Hive, and also we have custom feature data entry fields we'll talk about later. But right now, the key thing to remember is we do support multiple file types, and you can add more depending on your custom requirement. So for example, if I want to add Amazon S3, I need to provide AWS key, the secret key, and the bucket name, and we pull the data from that particular entry. Same thing goes for relational database. I need to provide custom information like IP address, username, password, database name, and the port number, typical connectivity details for that particular database. So that's how you create a new or ingest data into a particular project. Once the data is ingested, I can see a lot of information about that particular data set. For example, in this case, I have input file called loanmicro.csv, it's a CSV file, and I can do a data transformation. This is where all the magic happens, where you look at the data, you can explore the data, you can look at all the information about the data, how to create features, we can create models. Again, we'll go through all this in a subsequent tutorial, but I just want to highlight that this is where the magic happens. And once a project is created, you can also look at the metadata for that particular project. For example, in this case, this file has 1097 rows and 22 columns. It was created on this date, and we also provide a preview for that particular data set. In this case, it kind of shows the basic metadata for that data set. So you can see, for example, all the columns here, and we show the first few rows. Gives you an idea of what type of data the data set has. And also you can delete this particular data set from this project if you desire to. So it gives a good overview of the metadata of the data sets, and you can have multiple data sets within the project, as I mentioned earlier, and there is no limitation on how many data sets a project could have. Typically, we recommend one-on-one, like one project to have one data set, so it's easier for you to understand and track the data set and models associated with the data set, but you can have more than one. And finally, the download button shows you the transformed file. So the first file is the input file. You do data transformations, and then after the data transformations, you can download the output file, a CSV file, or it's also available in a model marketplace, which will go in subsequent tutorials. The idea is you can store it in the cloud space, or you can actually bring it to your local file or more local system if you prefer to have it out there. So this concludes this particular tutorial. We'll go more depth into what kind of data transformations we have and what you can do with that input data set.